Welcome back to Miss Curtis's art class. Today we're going to have a lot of fun making a monster character that we are going to paint today. If you don't have watercolor paints, you can use colored pencils, markers, crayons, whatever you have to color yours in. We're going to use a coffee filter. And if you don't have a coffee filter, you can always cut out a circle by either tracing it or freehanding it with a piece of paper, so that's up to you. We're also going to be talking about some different geometric shapes here. So geometric shapes are man-made shapes such as circles, ovals, triangles, half circle, some more triangles, and a rectangle. And we're going to use these to decorate our monster character after, okay? All right, so let's get started. We're going to have fun painting in our circle first, and I can't wait to show you how to use these watercolors. All right, so the colors I'm going to use today for my monster, I'm going to focus in on red, blue, and purple, okay? So I'm going to simply have my water and paper towel, very important. I'm going to swish my brush around into the water cup here, and move this over here so I'm not dripping across my paper. I am going to start by dripping 1, 2, 3 drops of water into my watercolor paint. This is really going to activate that paint. And then I'm going to swish my brush around into that paint. I'm going to hold down the coffee filter, and I'm going to start to paint this in however I would like to do it. Some interesting lines and curves. And the cool thing about coffee filters is that they're going to have some really interesting ways that these colors are going to blend together because they're just kind of soaking in the color. So I'm going to experiment with this, and I can't wait to see how you decide to paint in your circle or coffee filter for your monster character. So as I'm going, I decide I'm going to switch my color. To do that, I'm going to swish my brush very carefully and scrub it at the bottom of the container until I know I've gotten all the paint off. Wipe the side of the container with the brush, and then dab it on your paper towel. If you see any color come up, make sure you rinse one more time. I saw a little bit of blue there, so I'm going to go back in, scrub again. And now it's coming up clear, so I know I am safe to go into another color. We don't want to go from one color right to the next without washing our brush. It's going to dirty your palette. So now I'm going to go to purple, and I'm adding 3 drops to the purple, swishing my brush. And now I can start to use purple. And look at the way that the watercolor blends together, and it's going to make some interesting colors because now we have purple mixing with blue, and the same is going to happen for the red. All right, so I'm going to speed this up, and like I said, I can't wait to see how you paint in your monsters. So now that I painted in my coffee filter, I am going to let this dry. So this will take a little bit of time in between to dry. So we might make a couple different monsters. Let our coffee filters dry. I did a couple red polka dots on there as well. And I'm gonna wash my hands as well. Once these dry, we are going to be able to start to glue on all these interesting shapes. We can make eyeballs, we can make some teeth and a really fun mouth. So like I said, we'll let these dry and move on to part 2. All right, so my monster on the coffee filter has dried, and under my placemat, you can see it left a little bit of a marking here, and that's okay. So if it did it to yours, that's fine. I love the way that it came out, and notice that it actually flattened itself out quite a bit. So it almost has this like tie-dye look to it, and it seems as if it's got this kind of greenish color that came out from the blue too, which I found really interesting. And I just use red, blue, and purple. But again, notice that the red kind of bled out a little bit and turn into this pink color as well. So really pretty. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play with the shapes, the geometric shapes here, and we are going to use either a glue stick, or if you have a glue bottle, you can use just a dot of glue on the back of each shape to put on. The first thing though I'd like to do is kind of play around with how I want my monster here to look. Maybe I want, you know, one eyeball in the middle and a black pupil. I don't know. And maybe I want a half circle for a smile, and then I could glue some teeth down. And again, I'm not gluing anything yet until I arrange this monster in a way that I really like. Okay, pretty neat, right? You could add some, almost like some pointy little shapes for some monster hair. Or maybe there's some horns, okay? And then you could glue them. You could change the shape of the mouth to be a rectangle. And then you could put teeth here. You can make as many teeth as you want. Maybe you just want 2 teeth. Or maybe you want a bunch of teeth. Maybe you want teeth going from the top and to the bottom. That's up to you. So I cannot wait to see how you arrange your monster. And oh yeah, and here's another example. Maybe I want 2 eyes. Maybe I want 3 eyes, right? Maybe one's going up, one's going down. You can kind of arrange that however you like. It could be kind of goofy looking, right? Or maybe you want 3 eyes. I'd have to, you know, cut out another circle here for that. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna make my monster, and like I said, I can't wait to see how your monsters turn out. Okay, so that's how I chose to make my monster, and I love the way he looks. He's really goofy. You could name your monster after too if you want. So I'm just going to clean up my materials, put the cap back on the glue, make sure that all my shapes are neatly put to the side. And yeah, I hope you guys had fun making this lesson today. And like I said, I can't wait to see how your monsters come out.